Good morning, everybody. This is Walter Hampton. Walter Hampton, second by my mother, Alberta Hampton. Today it is Tuesday, January 9th. We're in the new year, 2018. I'm going to start doing a series of videos every Tuesday with my mother since she's off for work that time. She's blessed and favored. She has a lot of thoughts and opinions about some stuff, so we're going to kind of hash out some of this stuff. You firmly believe the homeless problem in America that we have, and probably all over the world, has to do with people's lack of religious beliefs. I just want to confirm this.
I'm not going to say actually religious belief, but you have to know the scripture. And when Jesus was on the earth, and somebody made a statement to him, and he told them, he said, "You will always have the poor with you." So you see people feeding them. Now, the housing thing is going to have to take a little bit more economically and wise people to go in there and change the situation.
We have to change it. The American people have to change it.
That's what I just said.
I mean, so instead of sitting around waiting for a miracle to happen, we have to get up and build.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I said. We have to, but it's going to have to take money. It's going to have to take finances. And those finances are going to have to be provided.
Mm-hmm. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No.
Did you support Donald Trump? You voted for Hillary?
I was looking at Donald Trump. I thought that he was might have been a good candidate.
Do you think he's doing a good thing as president?
You really can't tell. He's sort of mouthy and sort of offbeat with Americans. Especially with those that are in Congress and in the White House, they don't care for him.
He's following your religious beliefs? Or do you think he represents your religious beliefs?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
How could he?
I'm asking. Some people say some people view him as the best Christian.
Oh, no. I basically, the one that took him under their arm when he was coming in, I heard a statement that last Saturday that said that he's making them look bad because of the way that he's curing himself. Mm-hmm. I can't remember their exact words, but they thought that he was, not presenting himself properly. And most people have qualms with.
You have a huge section. More than 50 to 60% of all African American children live in poverty. What's the problem?
Ignorance.
Okay. Nothing to do with religion. Yes or no?
I would say there's still going to be ignorance. We have too many ignorant religious places on earth. They're not teaching the people. People get up from hotels and go to church, go back to the hotel with somebody else's husband. They're not learning how to live a good life.
Question for you. When you divorced my father, Walter Sr., you had 7 children. You filed for divorce. You had him tossed out the house.
Tossed out?
Oh, yeah.
He walked out.
No, you didn't walk out. You threw him out, which is fine. At that time, you felt that was the best thing for you and your children. When you look back on that, what are your thoughts?
Well, you can have two different thoughts there, If you pity the person, but you got to move on.
He was paying the bills.
He was paying the bills. He was a good provider.
He was a good provider.
See, provision is not always the case.
He was one of them independent black women back in the 80s. You didn't need a man no more, right?
And wasn't that...
your sisters get divorced too?
I think they did, didn't they?
All of them. All of them. So were you one of these independent black women? You didn't need a man. But the reason I'm asking this, you have so many black women raising children alone, without a husband, without a father. Is that a good idea? And when you look at your own situation after you got a divorce, and you struggled for quite some time to get on your feet, did you do the right thing? Did you do the right thing?
I think I did the right thing.
Why
I
did you
truly
say that?
believe. For myself, I think I did the right thing.
For yourself, I'm talking about your family, your children.
Well, see, children grow up and go about their business and do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They had a roof over their head. I think God really provided very well for us during that time because we always lived in nice places. I always made jobs. We always had transportation.
When Daddy left that household and he went on and y'all got that divorce, you feel that you did the right thing.
I do. Yeah.
You don't feel like you damaged your children at all.
I don't know. Were you damaged? Do you feel like you would have been better if you had been there?
I think I'm more of keeping a family unit together, especially if he's the provider.
I think that, and this is not for everyone. Everybody has to know their situation, what they want out of life. And I even hate to say this to a public audience, but it was the best thing for me. I didn't lack anything. I don't care what you said. The rent was still paid. The utilities were paid. I had a job in the school system. We were still, and even with every move that we made from that.
Did you take your family through some rough times at all after that divorce?
Did we? I mean, tell me. You know
yes. I mean, you don't remember this stuff? Maybe you feel like, cause see, I kind of get the impression that with a lot of black folks, they feel like struggling comes part of our dysfunction as we consider normal. Do you think that the struggle after you divorced Daddy was dysfunction that you brought, this normalized in your mind?
I'm going to say that the struggling did not begin until I moved down south. The struggle did not begin until I became a resident of the southern community.
Well, you were in
and
Michigan.
It still was not such a... I was getting my Social Security check from your father. The benefits up north are very, very good. They were paying the rent. They bought me a car. I had a job. I mean, I had 2 jobs. I don't know what you know.
All right, so without that public assistance, which is what it was that you just already described, after Daddy left, you had to get some help.
That was I didn't have to get it, but I got it because they offered it to me.
They offered it to you, you took it. Which I can understand that since you really didn't have the income to support 7 children. Right?
I didn't have the income. We didn't struggle, Walter. Now, there's a difference in...
We were
not on the streets. We always had a roof over our house. We always had brand new cars to go where we had to go.
I'm asking a question. Do you think your children would have been better off had you stayed in the situation with Daddy and got them through school and into college and got them on with their lives? Would their lives be different today? Yes or no?
If all of that would have taken place, I would say yes. But I wasn't going to stay with him, though. Y'all could stay with him. I'm going to be very honest with you.
You got all these black women raising these children by themselves. So this doesn't make sense.
But see, mine was not little bitty kids. All of mine had the same father. He went to work diligently. I let him know that you're going to take care of your family.
And did he take care of his family?
And he did take care of his family. So, does
it make sense to divorce a man? You got 7 children. Let's just look at this from a logical story. But take you out the picture. A woman has 7 children. Her husband's paying the bills. Financially, she's dependent upon him to help pay the bills. You got children you're trying to raise. What do you say to her?
There's a lot of, I'd have to know this person. I have to know, is she a strong
She's having
person?
Problems with her husband. Maybe some infidelity.
A lot of women have problems with their husband, but could she survive in the world?
Why do white women stay with their husbands regardless?
Oh, they don't. Because they take a lot of hell off of them, and we ain't made like that.
So they take a lot of hell because they want their family to stay intact, because they want their family.
Yeah, but then you get this destroyed woman. You destroyed their children are no different from ours. You look at these kids. You talk to them. They get on drugs. They go have babies. They do everything ours do. It's just that ours. We see ours. We don't see theirs.
Well, we see.
They have problems with theirs, and if they know that a divorce.
Should black women be focusing on getting married before having children and getting a good husband who's going to be a good provider for both the husband, for the wife, and the children?
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Now, you didn't say that, but I definitely agree with that.
Because does it make sense to raise children alone?
It depends on the situation.
Does it make sense, period, depending on whatever the circumstance of the situation? I don't care, you got $1 million in the banks. Does it make sense to raise children alone? Yes or no?
I would say yes.
Give me an example.
Well, a lot of times you have a lot of confusion. My mother stayed with my father, who was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we turned around, we would be evicted from these little bitty rooms like this that 9-10 people lived in.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have time to educate us. She didn't have time to do nothing for us. So, and when we always ask her, why did you stay with him? And she said, well, I thought a piece of man was better than no man. And that was a big mistake. Mm-hmm. How many of them ended up with mental problems, the boys? It was tragic. So this is why we came out of that situation as strong women. We had decent homes. Mm-hmm. The men made the money.
You want something different.
And each husband respected his wife, bought the payment home, helped raise these children.
But y'all ended up divorced.
Evidently, we were.
All these guys were great.
They might have been great to you. But
no. They were great providers, though.
With provision is not everything to a woman.
Well, I didn't anything to me.
You can't have a man just because he's bringing home the check, but yet he's got another woman on the street that he's entertaining. That don't work. He wasn't beaten.
Did you ever have any physical confrontations with Daddy?
Probably so.
Was Daddy an alcoholic or drug user?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Was he a...
But you're going...
You ever disappear for days at a time?
You're going deep.
Yeah, because I want to know.
You're going deep.
You would only know the answers because I was a kid.
Oh, I know the answers.
Did he disappear? Was he gone? Did he abuse you? Did he harm the children?
What? You have to... Didn't I just describe the situation that we went through?
Mm-hmm.
My mother's situation?
Yes.
Did you see the house that we lived in?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
But there was a man there.
Okay, but you were in
a
much better situation.
I'm telling you, it took my strength.
Other than Daddy's possible infidelity, because I don't know what happened. You would only know. Other than his infidelity, right? Was he a good father and provider?
You tell me. Was he a good father?
I think so.
Well,
you were married to him. I was a kid. I don't know.
But you was pretty. What was you? How old were you when Daddy left?
Maybe about 12, 13.
Well,
maybe 14. I don't know.
You have, there's certain situations that a marriage brings. Infidelity is a tough one for me. I cannot live with the man that wants to have other women. That's not my thing.
Okay, so would you encourage black men and women to seek partners and seek marriage before raising and having a family, your career?
That is so easy to say, Walter. That is so easy. It's just like buying a car that you think is going to last you for the next 12 years, and this car comes out on you in 2 or 3 years.
All right, but they're not doing marriage at all right now. They just run out having children.
But then...
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so should you encourage him to build a family unit first before bringing children into this world? That's all I want to know.
Of course.
So you see some benefits to a husband and wife.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You don't go out and get 5, 6, 7 kids that you got to take care of, and they all have different fathers. No, that's wrong. You get a man that's going to help.
Get a man and marry him if he's a quality good guy.
Well, you never know. People.
There are some good guys out there too, right? There are some good guys out there. I think I'm a good guy. If I was straight.
No, but then when you look at it like that, because you were raised to be a good guy by your mother.
Okay. You don't think Daddy played a significant part also in his children's lives?
He
was there every day.
I'm going to say he wanted a better life for you all.
He did.
Because he had a bad life coming up like I did.
He wanted us to be educated. He made me read that newspaper every day to him. I was embarrassed about this.
His father was killed when they were young.
Yeah.
And so they struggled. They were in Mississippi. The South has a lot of trauma going on.
Of course.
Where we came from, we could make it.
Do you think Atlanta's a racist city?
Well, you know it is.
So have you experienced racism since you lived in the past 30 years?
Of course I have.
Of Going back to my question, do you recommend people move down south to Atlanta?
No.
Where would you suggest they go?
I think that they should find a city or a state that they can get good jobs and education and men care. Because this one girl that moved to Kansas, told me, she said, all of the men here are so different from the ones in Georgia. They're family men. You know, they want to meet women that care about families. Mm-hmm. So that makes it, and that's in the raising.
I agree.
In the community.
Oh, the community. Well, how would you describe black communities today? What is your take on it? Because you live in Stone Mountain, Georgia. You're up there off of Memorial Drive in Redan? No. What is that street?
Stone Mountain.
Hampton?
Ponce de Leon.
Ponce. What? It's Stone Mountain,
Memorial
right?
Drive, yeah.
Memorial Drive area. It's a predominantly black area, for the most part. How do you describe that community up there?
I've seen that community go down since we moved there.
Tremendously.
Yeah, tremendous. The whole area, all of Stone Mountain, has changed for the worse.
It's horrible. Or could it be better?
Could be better.
What's bringing it down? Is it the single?
I think that
too much poverty, too many children, without a husband, without a wife. Wow.
I don't know that much.
People having families at such a young age. You're out there talking to these people. What are black folks doing wrong that's causing our communities? Is it our doing? Why are our communities in such disarray? Is it what we're doing?
I think that
to ourselves or something outside.
Okay, I was with your father for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I let him know that he was going to have obligations and he was going to have to keep them. I wasn't going to take nothing from him. Mm-hmm. He was going to take care of his kids. He was going to provide for us.
I got you.
These were provisions that I let him know that were going to come into the house. Now you have women that have no backbone. You've got to stand up. I mean, was I there for you all?
Of course.
Did you all get whippings and discipline? Did we all sit and read? Did we all do things to improve our education?
Because you had a husband there providing an income so that you could do all those things.
Yeah, but I still went to work though, didn't I? After everybody was in school.
Yeah, but
I still. So you got to.
Daddy's income was much more significant than yours.
It was, but and I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. He would bring the check in the house, put it on the dresser, and I cashed it. But the thing of it is, I wasn't a wimp. My mother was a wimp.
Was he a good man at least? Can you at least say that?
We were friends.
He was your husband.
But
was he a good man?
That's the best relationships.
Overall, when you look back on it, was Daddy a good man?
We had a lot of problems because
in your relationship, was he a good father and provider?
His family didn't like me.
I know.
They didn't like me, so they kept a lot of confusion going on.
I understand.
So I didn't divorce him. I divorced them.
Oh, I understand what took place.
I divorced them.
I agree with you on this.
Yeah.
They created a lot of issues.
A lot of issues.
Okay, he wasn't able to control them and keep them out of this mess. I do agree with you on that. I remember all that. However, overall, you wasn't a bad guy.
Oh, no, because I wasn't a bad woman.
Of course. I agree with that.
So he was good and I was good, so we got along. So that makes it good. He didn't have to worry about me sneaking around out on somebody with him. He knew that wasn't going to happen.
Well, was he sneaking around with you? Because I don't know. That's a massive question. Did you ever prove that he was having infidelity?
Well, after I left, it didn't make any difference. Because I was much better not knowing.
Did you leave and
I was in a better situation. I was in a better situation. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't throw him out because of that. I threw him out because he started running around with his nephew that was so much younger. And that got on my nerves because I didn't appreciate this girl. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
How old were you when all this was going on? Because you moved to Atlanta when you were about 40.
I was still in my 30s.
So you were still in your 30s. How old were you when you had your? Do you think you had children maybe too early? Were you mature enough to really have seven children?
You have to remember that I had raised children all my life. I started babysitting for a lady with 6 kids at the age of 9. I raised those children. Okay. And from then on, I babysitted. I made money. I took care of my own self. From the age of 9 years of age, I worked. And my adult was taking care of the elderly, and I was taking care of young children. Mm-hmm. And so we all, and it made us grow.
What would you say to black women today, how can they get out of poverty? What would you say to these black women today? What are some things you say to improve their situation?
For one thing, they're too loose. You don't lay it down and you get one baby, and then you have to have a father for that baby. You don't have a man that's got 8 babies out here in the street by 8 different women. That's ridiculous. Yeah. How is he going to help you and he got all that street of women, and then he's young and you're going to get some more women and more children out there? So the women have to be, if you don't have to have a baby, don't do it.
Can this be corrected at this point in our communities, or is it just a lost cause?
Well, I'll say it like this. It can be corrected, but everybody knows that another generation has to grow up. This generation has already failed. So with the children that are here, we have to contain them and let them know that was not the lifestyle. That's the problem. Somebody has got to see that either the school, the church, or the community, somebody has to support these children. A lot of people that have stable homes with husbands and fathers, they bring in children that they can raise and help, and then they do it in the neighborhood. These children have to be trained. Why are you going down the street, you stop and eat at McDonald's and throwing your bag littering up the streets like this?
Stone Mountain is filthy up
It's
there.
filthy.
It's just sad.
Just like Kirkwood, I'm saying. And I met these people, they throw their bottles and I said, why are you doing that? You don't do that.
Because we're getting close to our cutoff point of this video. Education is what I want to talk about in the next video. Education, the public school system, has it been detrimental to blacks?
Very much so. It's destroyed us, and it's because our teachers are not as dedicated as they should be. When you say you're going to run a daycare, a teacher in a school, you got to love kids. You got to go in there. You can't be sitting around, oh, he's so stupid. He comes to school nasty. He don't eat nothing, but he gets here hungry. That's not the child's fault.
You've had your own children and great and grandchildren in public schools here in Georgia, the City of Atlanta public schools.
Oh my God! Don't mention
DeKalb County public schools.
Don't mention it.
How's the experience been?
They took these children that were prepared for school. They could all read. They could all write. They were prepared. I can meet one of Michael's teachers on the street today, and she says, I know that Michael made a good career because he was an A student in school. But when they get to 8th grade in high school, everybody wants to drop out. And it's a known fact. Why do you think all these boys running around with these guns? They don't have no education. And nobody seems to be doing anything about it.
Do you think it's wise for blacks to continue to send their children into the public school system? Are there any other alternatives we should be seeking out to change education? Without education, the African Americans, we're suffering. And it's destroying our communities.
It is.
So what can we do to change the plight of the educational system for blacks? So should we be focusing on building our own schools, or turning churches into schools, or homeschooling, or we need something different?
Well, at this point, I'm going to say this. The schools cannot survive without the community support. I don't know. You go to the board meetings here when I used to go. There would be very few parents for the community that are large communities.
I understand.
See, where I came from, everybody in the neighborhood.
We were in Gary, Indiana for years. You knew that was a good school system there?
It was a good school
system. It was excellent. I have to agree. Got down south. It was one of the
better ones.
Got to Cincinnati, Ohio, and you came on down south. What happened?
Shouldn't have came to south. But for some reason, we ended up here.
You heard that Atlanta was a place of milk and honey.
No, I never heard that.
You heard it was a place that black folks were doing well.
I didn't hear that either.
Why did you come here?
I just came because it was something different. I never wanted to live in the South, so I'm really stunned that I would come here. But
well, something had to bring you here.
Nothing really. I just came. I don't know why I
stayed.
On a whim. I don't know why I stayed. That's the problem. But it's the South.
Regret that decision?
We're in the South.
Do you regret?
And I don't, in a way, because.
Do you regret that decision to have uprooted your family from Cincinnati, Ohio, where they were doing much better there?
They were doing good.
And you bring them down here to Atlanta?
I do. Okay. I do regret that. I should have waited till everybody got grown and got situated, then moved on. But I didn't do that.
All right, so we're going to come back in a few minutes. We're right at 25 minutes. We're going to heat up this coffee. Do you want some more coffee?
Yeah.
Because we're going to get some more coffee, and we'll be right back. Today it is, let me give you this timestamp. Tuesday, January 9th, the year is 2018. I'm 9 days into 2018. We're sitting there talking. I'm Walter Hampton. Walter Hampton, second, my mother, Alberta Hampton. And we'll be back in a few minutes after we get some more coffee.